Hello and welcome to Mostly Off Topic Does Laughter of Dragons. This is episode 10, the second half of our fifth session of this. I'm with Ben,
Hi.
Joe,
Hello.
Matt.
Hello.
If you're comparing these introductions to episode 9, you'll find there's more energy in episode 9 because it's the second time this session we've done that intro. But anyway.
And
Okay.
you are.
I'm Paul. I'm Lord Master in this thing. This fun adventure. I don't know how good a Lore Master I am actually, even though I've got some really good feedback. I always feel like I'm slightly imposting because I don't really know the rules. Anyway, so
I think you're doing a good job.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you for
I
your
think
praise.
you're doing all right.
Thank you.
Keep it to your traditional theme.
Female character number 2 is excellent.
We'll never let the party have any money ever for about the first year to year and a half of the adventure.
That is my style. That is my
the
style.
racist dwarves from the Iron Hills in the last episode were amazing.
Yep.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Non-political commentary.
No, we are definitely not.
Unless it's political commentary.
We said in the chat that we had before we set up the game, I was kind of like, right, okay, guys, let's just not politicize the game. Let's try to keep it kind of like fun and such like. And there we are. Anyway, so we're playing Laughter of Dragons, and we're basically playing it straight out of the book. There are a number of reasons for that, but largely time and desire to prep and ability to prep and so on and so forth. So spoilers. If you are maybe going to Erebor, playing Laughter Dragons, your lore master likes to pull adventures from printed materials in, then we will be spoiling this for you. I might foreshadow some stuff, and I might kind of like tweak a few things, but largely, if it's printed in the book, it's happening here. And the stream will be getting interrupted when Kenny comes in to advertise his own YouTube channel. Which is kind of
you told him we've started next episode. He needs to come get his promotional.
He'll go and get his promotion. Yeah, this episode sponsored by Kenny's YouTube channel. If you're into 9-year-olds playing Minecraft, then head over there and find out what it's like. Spoiler: it's just basically TNT blowing up the world. And
talk about politicizing the stream.
Oh, geez, yeah. And thank you everybody for the views, for the comments, and just generally being really positive about what we're doing here. It does help us. Let's feel good about it. We were going to be playing because this is kind of like what we're doing, but there is a bit more effort in recording and streaming it, so it's really good that we do get feedback, and we really do appreciate that, and we are hoping that you're enjoying what we're doing.
And in the spirit of real-time feedback, Bits of Cake says, "You're great!" ! In chat.
That'll be for you, Paul.
Yeah, for your lore mastering, I'm assuming.
Let's hope that is in fact the case, as I just dodged that video around. Yep. Okay. Thank you very much, Bits of Cake. Appreciate that. So recap on what happened last session. It all started a bit weird.
Yes,
in the Golden Sheep. Previously on this game, all started a bit weird in the Golden Sheep. I guess you can kind of understand now why people are a little bit tentative around. You went out, you spoke to God, you found that the Balin, son of Fundin, had died, been murdered in the streets of the Old Quarter, an ignominious death for such a powerful character. I did have a spoiler, didn't I? I did. And then you kind of were going through the market, intending to further investigate with that intent in your mind, and you kind of got sidetracked a little bit by an altercation between a couple of smiths from the Iron Hills. Traditionalists is perhaps the best way to describe their view, and a toy maker of Dale. And the general view there is that the toy makers of Dale are a distraction to dwarven kind. More than that, they are sucking away the essence of what it is to be a smith, a forge, and that the advisors to King Dane, because it could not possibly be King Dane of the Iron Hills who has kind of created this, but must be the advisors to King Dane that have allowed this kind of erosion of the traditions of dwarven kind within Erebor. The forges of Erebor are being kind of undermined; they're not being used to their potential. And a large part of this is to kind of like to get the gold from the people of Dale, to pander to the people of Dale, or to the race of men and such like. And Torg and Loftar, or Cirque, had a bit of a stand-up there. I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for Loftar, kind of like, and his Matic, that could have got pretty aggressive, pretty violent, pretty quick. And then Torg and kind of like and Loftar went and spoke to them and had a much more kind of like civil, if still kind of very definite conversation, but was sympathetic, I think, and empathetic to their cause, offered to continue the discussion over a beer in the Golden Sheaf and such like. As you were leaving Market Square, you heard a caw of a familiar raven, followed that through the streets of Dale until you were greeted by Balin, son of Fundin, not dead, main quality that he possessed. And then we took a break, finished the episode, so we're kind of like back now. So let me get to my...
You're not dead!
notes.
Everybody, Balin's alive! It's a miracle!
Do you say that?
No.
Turk. Well, all we've seen so far is a beckoning hand, and then Loftar going into the house.
That's correct. Yeah.
Torg's following closely behind, but yeah, I definitely heard Balin's voice.
That's right.
Greeting Loftar.
Well met again. Well met again. I think that's the voice I'm going to use for Balin. Well met again. A little bit Welsh. I might try to.
Yeah, a little bit of Anthony Hopkins. Nice.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to replicate that. Well met
Oh,
again.
come on, Anthony Hopkins all the way through.
And it's dark in the antechamber that you're led into, but you pass down that quickly, down some steps to a wide underground room, furnished with sturdy wooden furniture, and lit by beautiful dwarven lamps that fill the room with a soft glow. The edge of detail is taken off the stonework, and there's a gentle flickering, but they don't emit any smoke. High quality oil, high quality kind of lamps. And the shadows are etched on Balin's face and the full beard that he wears, and you see the wisdom in his eyes. One of the few structures that remained intact from Dale of old. Only a few old dwarves know about it. I've gone mad lighthouse keeper. Quite quickly there. There's a dolphin in the bay.
You've gone
Let's build a whole economy around it. And he reaches across, he pulls flagons of ale, pushes them into a cask that he has, and kind of hands them to you.
Well, Matt Balin, we didn't expect to see you again.
Okay.
Well, I have a confession to make. I didn't tell you I'm not dead. That is true, sir. I knew that you were the observant one when I met you.
I've lost my accent. I don't think I'll have to do it again.
I know.
It's just all of a sudden it's just gone.
We aren't professional voice actors, so I think we're allowed a little bit of slack. I have a confession to make. I didn't tell you everything last time we met, but I wasn't sure I could trust you. It was no mere misfortune that befell my friends and I. It seems clear that the ruffians didn't attack us to rob us, but were seeking us out with another purpose. Seeking me out, most likely. This is why I resolved to retreat from public appearances for the time being. If someone wants me dead, then I'm safer if they think it so. I wasn't going to escort off on an ordinary business trip. I was investigating a rumour concerning a secret meeting of conspirators that I was told occurred on the road from Dale to Lake Town. I was surprised when the thugs attacked us, since I confided my plans to only a few close friends within the Lonely Mountain. I fear I have been betrayed. Now,
Are any of them Birdie, Umvar, or Oscar?
I Recognize none of those names
Neither
at
do
all,
I.
ever.
You call Boatman.
Now, pretending to be dead will give me time to discover who is behind this, and it may indeed make them bolder and draw them from the shadows, but it severely limits my operations, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, in
Well, being
Erebor,
dead will do that.
it will indeed, aye. In Erebor, I have a number of agents I can trust, but here in Dale, I still haven't found someone up to the task. If you
Or
are
you
willing,
can trust us, Lord Balin.
aye,
And
if you're...
you want us to find someone to act as your agents that you can trust them.
I was hoping that you would be my eyes and ears for a while. There are a number of leads I think it would be wise to follow.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Lord Balin will be. We're more than happy to help you, and will be of utmost discretion in dealing with this. But can I just comment how similar this is to when the legend of when Bilbo disappeared? This hasn't actually happened yet, but the legend that I've heard is prophesied that Bilbo the Hobbit will disappear from his party.
Bilbo is a good friend of mine, and we're actually planning that now. It's going to happen in about 60 years. We're long-term planners.
This is where Bilbo got the idea, clearly.
In like 45 years, we're long-term planners. We are, Bilbo and I.
I only mention it because I had a dream about it the other night, and it seems similar. That's
My suggestion is you go into the oracle business.
Maybe I will. Yeah.
The oracular business. Now, I know that you will have business, and well, like any sensible dwarf, then reward would be expected to you. So I can offer you a small bag of gems in payment for your assistance, as well as my goodwill. I'm due to be meeting King Dane in 3 days, and I need to have some information for him.
And how will you maintain your secretive status with such a obvious meeting, Lord Balin?
Well,
It'll be incredibly difficult to.
I'm hoping that we'll have some information, and I won't need to remain dead for that long. It will. The gods of Dale are going to find out about this sooner or later. And, well, Bilbo the burglar did teach me a few tricks. So I have some abilities, you know. Now, what have you already found out, and what do you already know from any investigations that you might have done? You're proactive fellows, that's why I have faith in you.
Cirque, you have a list of names of the red cloaked
Lord of Stromberg, Lord of Brashbuck, or Thane Oscar. Do any of those? Have you pissed off any of those?
Not to my knowledge. I do not know.
Because someone in a livery of red, we worked out that it could be one of them three, was seen dealing with the people on the boat that jumped you.
Then I do not know much of the Dalish lords. Perhaps it would be a sensible investigation for you to undertake.
And then perhaps this is nothing, Lord Balin, but by chance, only today we encountered a pair of dwarves from the Iron Hills who seemed
pricks.
To hold some. They were indeed pricks. They seemed to hold some grudge against you and some of the other lords of Erebor. Vehement followers of King Dane, they are, and traditionalists in the traditional sense of the word. In that they
traditionally act as pricks.
They're traditional pricks, and they wish to take the skills and the business of smithing away from Dale and bring it back to Erebor. And They seem to see anything that doesn't help their cause as a threat. I wonder if there may be some connection. You mentioned you feel that you have been betrayed by the Lords of Erebor, or someone close to them.
He doesn't look surprised, and he kind of like just... I, Torg.
So perhaps
you what?
So perhaps this is a route worth exploring more.
Perhaps let me tell you a more full tale. I've been worried about the tension rising in Dale since late summer between the Bardings and the Dwarves of Erebor. The rumours of orcs in the city, in league with bandits that the king hadn't adequately dealt with. Dredging up long-standing issues, many that have been put to rest previously. We, the Dwarves of Erebor, are frustrated because their envoys of Dale are opening to renegotiate issues that have been settled, but as time has moved on, newer councillors have been brought into Dale. Newer nobles have resettled. The king has given parcels of land and manorships and manorial lordships to newcomers, and they are seeking to make their mark. But we're the same councillors that originally negotiated those deals, so to feel it's just frustrating from a dwarf's point of view to have your word questioned in this way, and for this to be a constant nagging just because a man is seeking to make his mark in the government of Dale. And in recent times, every meeting of the King's Council seems to just be an endless list of litigations to address, having to do with arguments that have been flaring up between Dwarf and craftsmen and Dalish merchants and lords. Favourable trade, weights and measures, exclusivity of trading, reducing the price that governments pay for base goods. And you could tell he's just exasperated by it all. Many in positions of authority within Erebor have started to speak openly against the ungrateful and scornful folk of Dale. They do this whilst they break bread that was made from wheat supplied from Dale, as has ever thus been the case. We supply the finished goods and they provide us with the foodstuff that supports us. Many have forgotten the dance that is required to sustain the kingdom under the mountain. Now, this is not unusual in my experience. Erebor and Dale have long been siblings, but in our current existence we are young siblings, therefore prone to these squabbles and this quarrelling as we seek to find our place in the world. A few weeks ago, the tone changed. Gundry, a veteran of the Five Armies and part of the Stone Guard of Erebor, got especially deep in his cups one night, and he was heard by many to say, "The time won't be long before matters are set right between hill and mountain, and the greedish, mannish rabble will get theirs." I summoned him to me so that I could investigate what he spoke of, but he was found drowned in a fermenting keg in Stangard later that day. Someone had got to him before I was able to. And whilst many of us may dream of the ale being the last thing that we have, I'm not sure that's the end that Gundry dreamed of. Since then, I've been grasping at nothing but shadows, thwarted at multiple turns. I thought I was onto a strong lead, having intercepted this message, and that led me to be out on the road when I was attacked. I think that was an ambush, and I think it was a setup now. I think that I was led there once they knew that I was onto them. Perhaps my summons of Gundry was done in haste and too publicly. So now we need to look at who stands the most to gain from these rising tensions. You have a reputation for effectiveness within Dale, and you're not known as strong friends of Bard or strongly united with Dale, so it's maybe that conspirators would open up to you. You have traditionalist leanings, I think, of your own. I know, Cirque.
Some of us.
Well, Cirque, I know that you have had long discussions with Domi, the lawmaster. And Domi is a man of letters and respected by dwarven kind for his knowledge. So it may be assumed that you are of a similar bent.
Possibly not after our encounter in the market today.
This will be with the traditionalists, and you disagreed with them
The
quite
British,
strongly. Yes, I can see.
I think we proved we can move in those circles if we need to.
So
I wonder if
I think we're about to get an advert from Bilbo, my hobbit friend. So if you're able to find out what you can and then report back here in a day or two.
So
Bits of Cake has a tradition of doing a beer run when the Hobbit arrives.
It's a good plan.
That is a good use of your time. It is a good plan.
Yeah, that's efficient. That is efficient.
It is indeed.
That's traditionalism I can get behind.
Yes.
There's one part of the puzzle that I would like to explore a little bit, Lord Balin, and that is Gundry.
Aye.
Did you mention his family, his sons? Does he have friends and family who would continue his agenda? Because if he was found murdered in a fermenting keg, surely they would seek retribution.
I can't remember mentioning his sons.
Okay, maybe I misheard.
But there is a risk. But Gundry, as a veteran of the Five Armies, was one of the warriors that came across from the Iron Hills, so his family will be in the Iron Hills.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe
well, we can ask the other
related,
dwarves.
We can. We must get close to them. See what they know.
But
I think Ale might help.
Why did you mention those names and the red livery? What was the connection there?
Yes, they were the ones who. So we went to see the dockmaster about the boat. The guy at the dock says that when someone in that livery was seen leaving the boat with the blokes who jumped you.
So you know the owner of the boat?
No, he just knew it was Thingy Men, didn't he? Dulwilly and Build. I don't think he didn't give us the captain or anything, did he? He just told us.
Yeah, it was just
he'd alert us next time it came back.
Well, perhaps it would be sensible to see if you could locate the owner of the boat as well.
Hey, look, that one grows because that one has to grow because to get more light, and that one grows as well.
Oh, what?
They're connected because when one grows, the other grows.
What, the circle
the
of your
pupils.
eye? Yeah, the pupils.
See, they grow.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. It's about...
Bits of Cake's got to be hammered tonight.
Yeah. Has to take a shot every time Kenny comes in. Yeah, aperture of the eye. Well, perhaps there's some value to be in finding out who owns the boat and such like. But if you find what you can, and if you come back in a couple of days or so.
Yeah.
You good down here? You got enough food, enough water, enough ale?
I am fine. Thank you for your concern, sir.
Remember to keep the bucket in the corner. I've spent a long time underground at times, and it's best to kind of have an organised system.
Aye, sir. I
Have a
also
routine.
I feel confident enough in my abilities to survive here.
Good.
Now, remember, I said that.
I'm sure.
Oh, sorry. Remember, one of my allies is one of my agents is a toy maker, Thrun. He may well be able to aid you as well if there's a way in which you wish to get a message to me or what have you.
Oh, is that the dude who wasn't bothered he was dead? Out of the shit game. Was that the one we spoke to?
Oh,
No,
was
we
the
still
toy-
have to
well-
find him. Still have to find him.
Yeah.
we can ask Lord Balin if that's the toy maker who made such an amazing dragon
Ah, yes,
that
that
we
is
play
Thrun.
about. Is
That is Thrun.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
That's why he wasn't bothered.
Well, that
because
does
he knows
make
he's not
sense,
dead.
then. Yeah, that does make
Cutting.
sense. Okay.
Yeah, you can't be
Okay.
upset about him being dead when
Through
you know he's
and,
not dead. Is there a
That's why he was
code
faking
word
it.
we should use when we talk to him so that he knows that we know that he knows that we know? That you're not
Why
dead.
don't we just walk
don't we just walk up and go,
say, the
"Balin's
dead
not
Lord
dead."
Balin.
You make a good
The dead.
You make a good point, sir. Okay, he kind of wanders across, opens up a small chest that he's got, lights a candle, scribbles something down on a sheet of paper, and just seals
With
it
today's
a signet.
newspaper, so it's like proof of
He
life.
takes a picture. He seals it with a signet ring. Gets some wax, seals it, hands it across to you guys.
Thanks.
Excellent.
You open it, it reads, "Please kill these."
They know too much.
Dwarves
Kill
are
them.
expendable. Okay. I guess we got enough to go on.
So we need to go look at some lords, talk to some trade unionists, and go down the docks again.
And speak to Thrun, the toy maker.
Yeah.
So we have 2-3 days before you become undeaded, Lord Balin.
Ah, yes, I've checked my diary, and I think I may have made a mistake. You've got a handful of days, but the next time that you talk to me, I'll be seeing Dane in 3 days since then.
Okay, that's.
I apologise
that
for
makes
breaking
more
everybody's
sense,
immersion in the game, but I had just got that story point wrong, and I was about to tie myself into knots, so it's better just to deal with
yeah.
it.
No, it's better to get that. It's
3
better to
days
get
before
that
the
right.
3 days before the 3 days of the 3 days.
And then
So as soon as
another.
we come back to you, there's a 3-day.
That's
countdown.
correct. Yes, I suspect so. In the
Okay.
same way that we planned quite in advance for Bilbo's party.
Well, that is how life works. It tends to work that way.
Yes, indeed.
We've got to do it that way these days.
Then we'll make haste and we'll do our utmost, Lord Balin,
Aye.
to investigate these matters.
My life is in your hands. Though I would
I'm
probably
sorry
not,
for your loss.
it would probably not be to understate matter to say that the relationship between Dale and Erebor is in your hands.
Sounds good. No pressure, right?
I believe we are capable of such a mission. We're ready.
As do I.
We're ready to serve.
Okay. You kind of out into the kind of afternoon streets of Erebor. Probably quite hungry actually, because you haven't had anything to eat. Slightly lightheaded, possibly. I would be if I just had like dwarven ale at kind of like 1 in the afternoon, having not eaten much.
Yeah.
And
Can we go back to the Golden Chief?
Can I
or-
ask a technical
or we
question?
go-
you can indeed.
So my spell of prohibition and exclusion.
Mm-hmm. Which
so
page
you-
is this on? Which page is this on?
107.
Are you going to lock Balin's door?
No, well, I was considering that first, but I've got one that like alerts me to danger, but it doesn't say that I have to be within it. Just that you may carve the signs on a rock or bark or tree within the perimeter of your camp. and their power will wake you at the first sign of danger. Carve the runes and go to sleep. You'll immediately awaken if a threatening presence approaches. Does it have to be like within a certain range of me, do you think? Or could I carve that and be alerted if anyone approached him?
No, I think it's very much...
In which case I'll lock him in. I'll discuss it with him before we go.
I would prefer not to be locked in case there's a fire down here and I need to escape.
Or just be careful with the fire. You said you were good at underground stuff.
Though it
Merely
is
an option.
It is a great skill to be possessing. You must be quite wise and learned in the ways of Jordan's folk.
Yeah.
I don't think you should lock Lord Balin into his house. He seems pretty comfortable at keeping himself hidden.
He got himself killed once. Just trying to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I don't know if you noticed, but he's not actually dead.
I know, it didn't take, but it doesn't mean it won't take the second time.
He
was down a gully when we found him.
I appreciate your concern, sir, but please don't lock me in, and I am fine. I'm not going to be dying. Death does not become me.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Yes.
Not till you get to Moria.
Yeah. Oh!
It's another vision. I've had another vision.
Don't go to Moria.
Oh, we've only spoiled Laughter of Dragons. We can't keep spoiling stuff like this. We're going to spoil it.
If you haven't read Lord of the Rings yet, I recommend
Drums in the Deep.
Okay. Also, the Dwarf cycle for the Lord of the Rings LCG. Spoiled that completely now. You may need to when they release that for the second edition. It's going to be interesting. I think you three would work as a chip into Moria. I think that's what we have to do.
We might need to bring some allies from Dale.
Yeah.
Haven't we got thingy's old not joined fighting party that didn't want to join in?
Brother Squadron.
Our mercenary band that we need.
Yeah. Oh well, that you were signed up to fight dragons with.
Yeah.
Okay. In any case, you kind of move for the antechamber, and off we go. And when we get famous, and there's loads of questions over the internet about whether our episodes are scripted or not, we'll just be able to point back at my mistake in the story and be like, well, actually, clearly not. But I suspect we've got a while to go before that happens. Okay then. Yep. Okay. So you're back up.
Are we going to the golden? To the golden
sheaf. The streets remain kind of glum and well guarded, and people do quieten down as you're making your way back through there. And as you're nearing the golden sheaf, you can see the entranceway off in the distance. There's a group of mostly youngish lads and lasses gathered around a middle-aged woman who's kind of like stood in front of a small child. The child's maybe 5 or 6. You're from Brokenstone. You've probably murdered Balin. Orc work down there. God, yeah, scum. Yeah, kind of a lot of verbal use. The child is starting to cry, and the woman's kind of holding the child back.
Torg's not happy with this. Is anyone intervening? If not, Torg wants.
There's a few bystanders that are choosing to make it not their business.
No, Torg.
Let's go make it our business.
Yeah, let's make it our business.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
You woman. That's the most derogatory term Torg can think of. Hag. No.
To who?
to the woman and the child from Brokenstone.
You hag. No. Yeah, he's. I want to intervene. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether. I mean, he's being lordly. He's being willful.
Okay.
'Tis but a child. You cannot blame blame a child for any of the wrongdoings of men.
It's an old woman and her kid.
Well, middle-aged rather than old.
Yeah.
They're from Brokenstone. They're basically orcs. I thought you'd be with us.
And yet
You're
you
kind.
you act like orcs with your brutish terms and picking on people smaller than you.
I've dealt with the evil in Brokenstone, and it was not orcs.
It was definitely an orcish body.
It was an orc, but they're green. She's not green. You're blind as well as thick.
How so these are kind of like late teens kind of like age. A couple of them are kind of getting makeshift clubs, that kind of thing. An apprentice's knife at the belt kind of stuff. That kind of like turning across to you. They're weighing up the odds, but they're weighing up the odds as teenagers. So a couple of them look across at the lasses, and the lasses are egging them on a bit.
I think we need to break some heads.
Just move along.
I think we've got the ultimate tool for the job here. Let's push Loftar forward to intimidate them.
Go break their heads.
And Torg, Torg might sort of maneuver into position in a way that suggests deftness and skill with the weapon, just to intimidate them rather than to really prepare for battle.
Let's have... Yeah, go on, sorry.
Now then, not what's occurring? What's this commotion? You're creating absolutely unnecessary problems here. Why don't you just move along? Go to the market, get yourself some nice treats. Off you go.
So that doesn't feel like awe to me. It's more kind of like inspire, I guess.
Oh no! Just sorry, I should maybe be a bit more aggressive in my tone of voice.
I'd say courtesy.
Excuse me, can't help but notice you're bullying this old woman.
Have some money, yeah.
Go buy yourself some candies.
Yeah,
Here's a tenner. Here's a tenner. Get a film in. So you want to use ore?
Yes. Because
sorry.
Apologies for underplaying my seriousness.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's it. Yeah. What's occurring? No need for that. Move along. Move along now.
Let's have an ore roll.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is...
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
No. Not worth spending.
So target number would be like say 12.
Yeah, I'll spend my point of focus. I'm really rolling crap today, so that would be.
You can claim it back on expenses.
Yes, please. I'll do that.
And then that leaves us with 1.
14.
Okay, yeah. So they kind of like look at you, look at the deftness that kind of Torg has demonstrated. Look back at you, look at your mattock. Look at you again.
I'm just casually holding it, in a way that
spit at the ground, and the ringleader kind of says, "And we don't want your kind around here. We've had enough of you. Not to you, but to the woman, to the child. Get back into Brokenstone." And then they kind of go, "Right, come on, let's go to get some ice cream." I kind of like back away, turn, and start to kind of like move off, maintaining a little bit of face. They didn't turn and flee or anything like that. But
I'd like to just as they go past me, just like maybe there's probably legends about dwarves eating children or something.
Not so much in Dale, in fairness. More in Mount Gundabad.
Just attracting dragons.
Yeah, less in Dale, more in Mount Graham. Okay.
Yeah, we have to solve this puzzle.
Back in the golden sheet.
Let's check on the boy and his mother.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Just check on them,
my lords. Thank you. They're kind of like the child is crying and kind of like clinging to the skirt of her mum. It's been difficult these last few months, and with this news, the whole city is just.
Yeah, it's uncalled for, I think. How about have a bit of a coin, get this little one something nice to eat.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. How much? How generous are you going to be?
I'm just Marshall, so that would be an average donation to.
I'll take.
Yeah, we'll chip in.
So Torg's rich, so I'll give them a silver coin.
Yeah,
if that's
like eyes kind of like widen. So you've probably given them enough to feed them for maybe a week.
Buy a new house, new car. They've moved out of Brokenstone.
They pull up in their Lambo.
Yeah.
Get the mortgage paid off.
Turned out it was all a con.
It was a long con.
Yeah, no, I want her to go get the boy fed and warm and home.
Yeah, so it'll definitely pay for food for a frugal living, food for a week, and probably a few baskets of wood to burn in the fire and such like. Thank you, my lord. Thank you. Your generosity and your kindness. It is rare in these days to those of us from Broken Stone. Not all of us are liars and thieves, she says.
Or orcs.
None of us are orcs. And none of us are.
And if you need help again, then please call at the Golden Chief and we'll help you. You should not be persecuted simply because of where you're from. And I wonder if she might be a possible informant at some point. What do you think, guys?
Well, if you would happen to know something, we can ask them, I guess.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, but they get paid as well. So
yeah, you don't want to set her up to be getting hassle for being a narc.
In a nice way. If you happen to hear anything about what happened to Balin or about people that might know about it, it would be a very useful information, and we would indeed compensate you for it, because we're very concerned of our kinsman. The way he died.
If I hear anything, then do. I'll come to the Golden Chief if I hear of anything.
Yes.
I've lived all my life in Dale, and I'll see what I can find out for you.
That was a good idea, I think. Yeah.
That would be appreciated. Now, please go. Take your
please leave.
Take care. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Then she turns to the little lad. Now, come on, Johnny. I need to drop you off at Fagan. You better come back with a wristwatch this time.
It could be worse.
I don't think the source of this trouble is in Broken Stones. It seems to be more in a merchant-driven area. Think where your friends would have hung out.
But eyes and ears will be of use in the next few days.
Until they chop and muffer.
Well, that's true.
I just feel that you've potentially put someone in danger, bearing in mind that they're drowning people in barrels of ale.
They're drowning dwarves in barrels of ale.
I don't think they're short of knocking off some old woman either.
But not in a barrel of ale. That'd be a waste of good ale.
It'd be like a fruit-based drink or a wine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Let us get some food. I'm a bit peckish now.
Yep. Okay, you're back at the Golden Chief.
How's the mood? Has it lifted slightly?
A little. But as soon as you kind of go in, the whole place goes quiet.
Okay, we need to play on this. So we need to kind of be. We don't know that Balin is not dead. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at.
You turn to
need
your companion and say, right, remember, lads, we don't know that Balin's not dead.
But feel
We
sad.
don't know that
Everybody-
he's not dead.
Boo-hoo.
I mean, we do.
Okay, yeah, understood anyway. Yeah, go on.
So we'll just have a quiet drink, probably. I'll have some food, Margaret.
Aren't you? Obviously, this is quietly to the other guys. Aren't you? Wouldn't it be more beneficial to not be that bothered? Isn't that what you're meant to be portraying? That actually his removal isn't the worst thing in the world.
That's interesting thinking. We could also be almost happy, but that...
Not happy, that'd be too obvious, but...
No, but that puts us in a camp, or in a camp.
Well, given the line that we're walking at the minute, I'd say our best approach would be to be enigmatic. So we should appear solemn, yet not overly grieved, and yet not inappropriately celebratory, let's say.
So, you want to be getting drinks that are not champagne, but not get yourself blind drunk out of sadness. Normal beer.
We might get a spirit,
Exactly.
like a little spirit to commemorate our...
No, I think that implies too much that we cared.
Right.
We'd just be acting as
perhaps
if nothing
we'd be-
happened. Some middle of the road.
And in terms of food, probably an egg sandwich, something like that.
Yeah, generic, kind of ham
Something
and tomato.
somber, moribund, mundane.
Sounds good.
Tuna, then.
Let's have all of those things.
Caton and a number of the Easterlings come in whilst you're ordering an egg salad sandwich on plain brown. Don't bother with any of the crisps on the side. So Caton, the Easterling merchant, with 2 or 3 of her crew. One of them is a youngish girl who's kind of laughing as they come in. Has got a really brightly coloured piece of cloth and is kind of like folding it, making the patterns kind of like into interesting swirls as she overlaps and folds it. They kind of see you 3 and they kind of go a little quiet. Caton comes across. I am... my condolences to you. We have heard the news of, I think one of the worthies of your kind has passed.
Thank you, Caton. Your condolences mean so much in this difficult time. And I only hope that the good people of Dale and the authorities find the perpetrator or perpetrators quickly, so that the people of Dale can rest easy. It's unsettling for everyone.
I can imagine. So yes. Are you going to do anything about it?
Well, we greatly respect the existing structures in Dale, and obviously we are a fairly assorted band of dwarves from different corners of this Middle Earth. We wouldn't want to step on any toes.
So are you doing something about it?
And we really didn't know. We really didn't know Lord Balin particularly well.
Well, if the mood does strike you so, and having wintered with you for a period of time, I know that it often does, then there may be something that me and my people can do to help you. You have been kind and accepting to us, and we would seek to return friendship back to you. I shall let you grieve in peace.
Thank you, Caton. That's very kind. Okay.
And she kind of heads off to their usual usual corner, and the girl starts giggling again as she starts to make these patterns. This one's a dog, this one's a cat, this one's a whale eating a bowl of petunias.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, she comes over and shows it you. Yeah.
Would we want to rely on external sort of people to help us?
I think there's an opportunity there, definitely.
Yeah, we have very little
There's
time.
an opportunity, and they move in different circles to us, so they probably have different routes in to information.
Yeah, especially on that boat, they might have some sort of info on that skiff, whatever it was.
And given that what we're talking about basically is, Balin's attempts to include more peoples in the politics of Dale and Erebor and to unite rather than divide.
Yeah,
it could be worth pursuing.
Sounds like we need to buy some people, some men, some drinks, and send them on the path.
Yeah. So do we want to progress that now?
I feel like that might be a good idea. But I'll say it again. We don't have much time, and I'm not saying we're desperate, but
we've got a handful of days, followed by at least 3 days.
So we need to speak to Thrune, and we need to speak to Domi the Lawmaster, possibly.
We need to spy on those houses.
Yeah. I'm thinking if we plant the seed with the Easterlings now, that could be a nice little plant.
If you're going to talk to them about this stuff, I suggest you don't do it in the common room.
No. Maybe I'll take my air outside, and Torg can kind of take his smoking pouch out and maybe stand up with a little bit of theatrics and sort of signal over to Caton. Takes his pipe out, gestures towards the front door, and starts to move out to the front door.
Interesting.
Yeah, she kind of acknowledges, reaches across to her brightly coloured bag, kind of pulls out her own gear, slings the bag over, has a quick word to the couple of companions, schools it, and kind of like follows you out at the front door.
Okay. So I offer her some pipe weed.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Thank you kindly. Have a quick
I don't know why she's surviving.
Scan around.
So are you stood in the street chatting?
Sorry?
Are you stood in the street chatting?
Yeah, I'll kind of have a quick scan around though before I start to broach the subject seriously.
Yeah, it's market day, and you're near the market, so it's quite busy. You can move down a little bit around to kind of like the corner of where the stables entrance is at the side, slightly out of the wind, a little bit more covered kind of thing. Less busy.
Okay. So I'll maybe speak in sort of fairly loose, abstract terms at first, and just say, a dark day and strange times indeed for the people of Dale. No matter man, dwarf, or other. Balin was a prominent figure here in the doings of Dale.
Aye.
And And yet there seems to be much to ponder around his death. The fact that he was attacked in the days leading up to his death, and
He was attacked. I did not know. Such a strong warrior as well.
we
So accomplished in the martial arts to have been bested, presumably not by a large group. Otherwise, they would have created more of a commotion.
although the Lord Balin is perhaps a stronger orator and leader than he was a fighter, at least from what I knew of him.
Did you say he had been attacked previously?
Sorry, the bubbles are putting me off.
I've never smoked in my life. I haven't got a clue what happens. I'm just pretending.
I think you draw a little deeper on it.
Oh,
But anyway, do as you please, Katie.
not in the east, we don't. Anyway, sorry, go on.
But I've heard rumors of merchant lords who may have been jealous of Lord Balin's position and wished to usurp him. I've heard rumors that perhaps even in Erebor there were those that were plotting against him. I do not know which way to turn in this puzzle.
Well, I guess a man of status is always going to have his enemies. The person who takes decisions for someone is going to take decisions against another. But if he's been attacked before and presumably survived, then perhaps it would seem that whoever did that attack came back for a second go. And no disrespect, Torg was successful that time. What information do you know about the first attack?
Well, very little other than they came in a boat fashioned in Dorwinion.
Dorwinion?
And there were markings on the boat
What kind of markings?
of an eye. A very
eye.
elaborate eye with long lashes and bloodshot.
That is a strange eye.
Well, it was an eye. I'm elaborating slightly because I don't know much else about it other than it was an eye and it was quite fancy.
Yes. There aren't very many Dorwinian natives, or of those of Dorwinian descent within Dale, and less that I would have a skiff. There's no docks, you see, in Dale, so all the dock work has to happen elsewhere. Now, let me think. You have been kind to us, and we have shared many a song in the sheaf. Ulfang, my nephew, is doing some work for Jaden, who's courting Jarla, who's good friends with Marn, who does do some day work in the House of Gwion. Now, Marn told Jarla, who told Jaden, who told Ulfang, who told me, that she overheard Gwion dictating a letter of complaint to a notary about the negligence of Halward, the Reef of the Keys, as his boat had been stolen. A Dorwinian skiff with an elaborate eye was what Marn told Jarla, told Jaden, told Ulfang, told me.
And this Halward,
the Reeve of the Keys.
Halward.
You've met Halward. He was the guy, the boatmaster, essentially, that you met before.
Okay. Yep.
But Gwion is the owner of the boat. He resides in Dale. He's a dealer in musical instruments with a workshop just off River Way. If it's his boat. Gwion. Gwion.
Gwion.
Gwion.
Got it. Gwian.
It would be an amazing coincidence if there were two Dorwinian skiffs with elaborate eyes. And certainly an amazing coincidence if two had been stolen.
It sounds highly unlikely. From what you say, Caton, I know very little of boats and river life. So that is very useful information.
It seems that the pipe that you gave me has been paid straight back. Oh, so it's more than.
Aye, in my tradition, it's more akin to that than the rapid bubble blowing
of the East.
Aye. Entertaining as it is.
Indeed.
Okay, well that's a useful lead. Thank you, Caton, and if you hear any more rumours through your family network, please, no matter how small they are, then please do let me know.
I'll be sure to pass them on to you.
Have you eaten? Do you have drink?
Oh, well, we're fine. We're fine. Yes. Your egg crust salad sandwich is probably going a bit stale.
Aye, I can smell it from here.
Yes.
Let us re-enter the snug.
I head back into the Golden Chief.
Okay, so there's a lead on the boat. Gwian had his boat stolen.
Or at least he
reported it to Howard, the boatmaster.
Old Cirques, he knows what these criminals do. Right. What we're doing is we're doing a drive-by, and then we'll report the car stolen.
And burn it.
At least the day before.
Burn it out.
Change the number plates.
Change the
Sounds
eye.
like a solid lead. Yeah, sounds like a solid lead.
The dockmaster knew it had been stolen, then, did he? And that's who we've already spoken to.
I don't think Dockmaster told you it had been stolen.
Yes. Well,
They said this reportedly. They've reported it stolen already.
Maybe they want to hush it up, not to spread any information about criminal activity happening, reputation and all that.
So do we need to talk to the dockmaster or the boat owner?
I'd say speak
both.
to Gwian. Speak to Gwian. He's the root source, right? He had the boat, so let's get a positive ID on the boat.
Yeah, we might
sure
get a
it's the
chance to
same one.
search it. Maybe we can search it. I would love to have a look around that boat.
Yeah, if we can recover it.
That's true.
Flip on bricks burnt out now.
Okay, so you know that he's got he's a dealer in musical instruments with a workshop just off Riverway. Riverway is kind of back to the market, hanger left out towards Traders Gate, and is known as Riverway because of the blue stone beneath its the blue stone cobbles that it has, and the fact that it kind of comes across and heads out towards the river itself.
It is the way to the river. That's why they call it the Riverway.
Yeah.
I love literal naming.
You kind of head across there, you go across some of the bridges, the canals. It's spring now, and you get the hanging baskets and the window baskets as flowers are starting to kind of come into Dale. There's a little bit more ringing of the bells in the bell towers of Dale in the afternoon that seem to have kind of been subdued, or as a mark of respect, perhaps paused a little bit. And even though it's possibly now late afternoon, it's starting to get cold again. The sun is starting to kind of like lower itself down in the horizon. It's not that far into the year, and unless you're stood in the sunlight, then it does feel the air temperature is quite cold and a little bit of a chill.
Is anyone following us?
Let's have awareness rolls if you want to check that out.
Ooh, yeah. A single die.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not excited about this.
I've got 2.
Gandalf.
Nice. Well done, sir.
Just regular. Just a regular Gandalf.
I have 13.
You mean just like a normal grey Gandalf, or is one of those?
Yeah, no flashy additionals. Standard Gandalf.
Yeah.
Not upgraded any.
So it's not riding. It's not
No
riding.
attachments.
It's not riding Shadowfax.
No.
Okay. Does he have Glamdring with him?
No, just his staff. Grey Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf Grey with his staff. You don't see anybody kind of obviously following you or like keeping an eye on you or anything like that. There are people following you because this is one of the main thoroughfares of the city, etc., but they all seem to be kind of taken up in their own business and whatnot.
Are we a bit more of the norm now?
Yeah, you've been in the city for you've overwintered there, and also dwarves are not unusual in Dale. Dale is a fairly cosmopolitan city, and more as you move towards the spring and the summer, there's an influx of traders from various places in any case.
Cool.
And you head across to his workshop, and by musical instruments, it's primarily pipes. Rather than kind of string instruments or anything along those lines, various woodwind instruments of different decoration, different quality, and so on. You kind of step into a small area with some display materials, and then it opens straight out into a workshop where you've got various kind of carpentry tools. There's a probably late 20s woman there, kind of like carving, like with one of the wheels that turns. Is it a lathe? With the lathe, and kind of like a wood, kind of like just getting it turned on the lathe, starting to kind of like move it down, smooth it off. The whole place smells of slightly burned wood. I love that smell of burned wood. When somebody's sawn through wood, and oils and varnish, and that kind of thing. As you kind of get into there. And the lady kind of like, there'll be a couple of moments, kind of like finishes off and kind of like turns, looks at the three of you, a little bit wary, and afternoon, Master Dwarves.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Good afternoon.
Sorry to have heard of the news of Balin's passing.
Aye, 'tis bleak news and a sad day for Dale. Thank you for your concern.
For all of us in the shadow of the mountain. Now, kind of wipes her hands off a little bit on an apron. She's got, well, what is it I can do for you?
We're looking for Gwion.
Oh, he's not in today. He had a personal matter that he needed to take care of. I could take a message, or you could return later on this evening. His quarters above the shop. But if the shop's shut, you just need to go to the side door. If it's a personal visit.
Oh, maybe we'll return later.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to leave a message? Anything I can do for you?
Just that we have information about his stolen boat.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. Do you have a name and a place where Gwion would be able to assassinate? I mean, get a hold of you. She just says get a hold of you.
By the throat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can speak with Torg at the Golden Sheaf.
Talk at the Golden Sheaf. I'll let the master know.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Mm.
Have as good a day as you're able to. She says slightly awkwardly, and having kind of like wanted to say hi, have a good day,
No.
and then kind of like mind caught up, and she was like, yeah, as good a day as you can have, I guess. And yeah, you kind of like.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, we plan to drown our sorrows.
I can understand.
It might be a bit of a long shot, but do we know, or do I know, where Balin may have been murdered? I mean, the murder scene.
Not really. You know, it was in the old quarter. That's essentially the sum that you've been told.
Because I don't know what you guys thinking, but I want to sniff around a little bit.
You do know that he hasn't been murdered, by the way, Loftar. You did meet him and realise it was a fake.
But either someone sort of planned it, or there's some, I don't know, I'm just feeling like...
Balin planned.
Yeah, man.
I think.
No,
I
like,
think.
planting stuff and...
Yeah, but he did that.
Well,
If anything, we want to go imply that we did it.
Loftar, this may sound outlandish, but Loftar's got a hunch here. I say we go with it.
Okay.
We go and investigate who planned the murder of Balin.
Because we still think that...
When it's Balin who planned the murder of Balin.
Well, but we don't know. We don't
this
know
is wheels
that.
within wheels within wheels kind of stuff. This is, I think.
Exactly.
Right.
Sorry,
what-
Loftar. I was a little bit behind you there.
What should we really be doing if we didn't know that Balin wasn't really dead?
Well, it depends which way we're pretending. Because this is the thing. We're trying to portray multiple things at the same time. We're meant to be... If we cared, we'd be investigating. If we didn't, we'd be like, cool, let's get on with our day. And it's whether it's to which group we want to, like... If we're trying to ingratiate ourselves with a group of people who will be happy that it happened and are maybe kind of one of their many number, are all assuming each other have done it, we probably don't. We probably want to be quite like, maybe we want to be going implying that we bumped him off somewhere. Or at the very least not being unhappy about it. Whereas if we start investigating it, that surely isolates us from the group who would be against him. Because then they think that we're investigating them.
The thing is, we have no idea if anyone's following us or not, and if they are, who they are. So, I think let's just go and poke around a little bit.
You go poke around. I'm going to keep an eye on this shop to see what this bloke's... I suspect he's either upstairs and she's going to warn him, and once we're out of sight, he's going to go off and talk to somebody, or as soon as he gets back, she's going to tell him, and then he's going to go off and talk to somebody. So I want to hang around the shop if you guys want to go investigate the murder.
You might be onto something.
And Sir, have you noticed how the brickwork here changes halfway up the building?
I'm just investigating the blue cobblestone.
It was rebuilt at some point in the last 100 years.
Quite possibly. Yes, but more interesting is the blue cobblestones.
Okay, yeah.
They're a very beautiful shade. If the sunlight refracts, there is potential that you could actually utilise some lamps to make it more safe at night.
The cobblestones are very interesting, and I'll leave you to investigate them further. I'm Loftar. I'll accompany you on your.
Okay, so Cirque, do you want to make me? Are you hiding so that your investigation isn't obvious?
No, I'm assuming I'm quite a common sight now to a degree of just being randomly stood staring at a building,
okay, so
or sketching it kind of thing, or
hiding in plain sight, style.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll prop up somewhere in the street as if I'm get out my sketchbook and sort of like drawing the architecture and kind of just being quite obvious. There's no way I'm hiding or anything.
Okay, cool. I'll leave you there. So you guys are heading
Not with my one stealth.
So it's like fast red. Are you hiding?
Yeah.
No. I might be, but my horse,
I'm big and
my
shiny
squire,
and 6 foot off a horse.
my squire's horse.
I'm hiding behind my horse.
Yeah, the band I pay to come and sing my praises. They're not hiding. Okay, Torg and Loftar.
Loftar's going to do some private investigating.
We're off to the old quarter.
Off to the old quarter. It takes you a few moments, 20 minutes or so to kind of like get back down there. You have to hang via the market square's the most natural way along River Road, along like White Lane. Everybody's starting to pack up there. There's food basically being given away for free because it's not had the uptake that the vendors expected it to be.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to stop by the market, get a couple of these food items a little bit, and definitely get a bottle, a good bottle, and
it's all being given away for free. It's there for hours.
No, but as in the bottle of any sort of spirit and any type of sort of alcohol that I can just
get that's cool.
Are you hitting up the reduce to clear section of the market?
No, I'm going in there, I'm going in character.
Go full yellow label.
You so the food is a bit stodgy, a little bit dried out because they haven't had the footfall that they normally get for the toy market. People haven't really been indulging as much as they normally would, so that there's nothing to write home about the food. But you get yourself a good quality. If it's a bottle you're after, it would probably be a wine or something like a brandy.
Sounds good. Brandy would be good. So food items.
So
I'll
have a little thing of brandy.
I don't know we were shopping.
Yeah, I'm just going in character. So I've had an item. I've had one of the food items, and then I'll just quietly, so we're not in the market. I'll just sort of make a little mess of my. So I'm going to make a little mess of my appearance a little bit. The idea is to, when I'm going into the old square or old town, to be just a little bit. Well, the plan is to be distraught. We've lost Balin. I'm not handling it very well, but I've decided, in my drunken state, to investigate it very thoroughly. That's kind of the gist.
Are you going to feign drunkenness then? Loftar?
Just a little bit. I've been having a little bit.
It's the Columbo method of getting them to underestimate you by appearing incompetent.
You're on the so you've done that. You kind of like got bits of pasty in there. You kind of like got stuff in your hair. You kind of like rub your eyes so they all look a bit red. Kind of like halfway down the brandy, probably didn't fake that bit. And you find yourself at the corner looking up at Old Kelders, actually, in the exact same spot that the servant of Clovis was watching you as you were repairing the blinds.
Ooh.
Just don't quite know why you kind of ended up there, but that's kind of where you kind of get to, and you stop and you pause and you look up and you say, well, this must have been what it was like when they were watching me, kind of thing. So where in the old quarter are you going to go to see where Balin was stabbed?
I think the silly thing to do is to go and ask the guards where he was murdered. Try to use,
Okay, you wander around for a little while. Are you staying with Torg?
I'm going to kind of prop him up with a little bit more effort than is really needed. And maybe kind of berate him, there's no point looking at the watch are doing their job.
Okay. So you see some guards people who are patrolling. The patrols have been stepped up. Ordinarily, you don't get masses of patrols in the old quarter, and it's starting to get dark, a bit twilight. So there's a lamp. One of the guards is carrying a lamp on a stick in front of them to light the way a little bit. Let's have some riddle rolls from you guys to see how well you're able to portray your
excellent
drunkenness.
2 dice.
2 dice is good. Any traits that might be relevant?
tunneling. I'm gonna
Oh,
tunnel the hell
okay,
out.
that's it. Yeah, you tunnel your way into drunkenness.
I rolled 12.
Okay.
I-
Charles,
I've
all
got
right.
13. I've got
Okay.
13.
Okay.
Says,
So the guards kind of like, come on, move along, guys. They kind of start, and then they kind of ease off a little bit. They started quite aggressively, but then they ease off a little bit. Come on, gents, let's Master Dwarf, let's get you back to
but
where you.
I told you, Lof. I told you this was a waste of time. Lof.
I know, but look, we just want to do our due diligence. Our fellow dwarf has fallen,
Due diligence.
and it's something I feel I must do.
I know he's very upset. I'm so sorry. My friend is upset.
Can you tell us where the murder scene is? I just want to have a look around. I need to go back to the Iron Hills and tell my brethren what's happened, and they will ask me all these details. So you must tell me where it happened.
He has
gonna
to
have
file a
look.
report when he gets home. He has to
Absolutely.
file a report. There's a
Absolutely.
form and then another form, and then
Part
he
of
has
his due
to
diligence.
submit it.
He's got a report on his DD.
So you please help us.
Make a persuade roll.
You're just killing me today, Paul.
I think I'll give you a target number of 12.
Oh, well, where are my hope points? Let's just see them all.
There's one
Wow,
fellowship pool left.
Yeah, okay. So, if I spend that point of hope, I've got 12. Yeah, yeah.
What do you reckon, Sarge? I reckon these are pissed up. Yeah, but you don't want an angry, drunk dwarf on your hands, do you? Fair point. I mean, what harm can it do? What harm can it do? The Balin was he's like a father figure. Okay, I get it. I know you like your dwarves. I know you've got some. Don't get me wrong. I'm sympathetic to it too. Okay, right. You're not going to tell everybody else. I don't want a stream of dwarves coming and turning this into a shrine or something.
No, a dwarven secret. This is. That's absolutely nothing will ever get spilled.
And after we've shown you this, then you're back to your beds, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Just one more ale, and we're off to bed. Absolutely.
I promise I'll get him back to the inn, and we'll just have one more drink when we get back there, and then it's straight to bed.
This guy kind of like looks at you. You got to feel that he's kind of like not entirely so. He's weighing it up in terms of you know. Okay, right. This way. He takes you off further into the old quarter, and it's a crossroads. There's a narrow alley heading further towards Brokenstone, across one of the main ways, and you can see that just that corner there. You can look up and there's some awnings run a story up, 3 stories up, stone base, timber, upper stories, and then it ends into a stone wall with a small gate in, and you can kind of see past there. There's a small chicken coop. There's a few dogs kind of like lounging on the ground, and a few side doors that head in. There's no lighting other than the lamp that the guards have with them here, and the narrowness of the alley and the height of the buildings would probably even make it dark on a moonlit night. You imagine the whole place just feels quite cold as well, because it doesn't really get the sun at this point of the year, so it never really warms up. Especially there's still a little bit of frost condensation starting to form on the cold stonework.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst it's not particularly late in the day, it is starting to become dark and everything's cooling.
Yep. Can I do a quick search?
Yeah, okay. Give me a search roll. Standard difficulty.
Cool. So that's 3 dice. I have Sauron. But
Sauron
other
appears.
than that, I have Sauron, and it's a 14. Great success if it is a success.
Yeah, okay.
What do you make of those results?
What's the standard target number?
14.
It's
I thought it was
14, yeah.
14. I Sauron makes no difference in this situation. So 14 is a great success. 14 great success. So
Do I need to make a roll again? Sorry, or
are you searching too?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we
Yeah, make a roll.
might as well just join in. That's what we're here for.
Well, you're pretending to stumble around and kind of like, oh, woe is us, as you kind of like searching around.
I've also got same as Joe without the Sauron, so I got 14 great success.
You don't find much, if I'm honest. There's a bit of sawdust.
Chicken shit from the coop.
Well, no, there's a bit of sawdust that's been deliberately sprinkled as if it was absorbing kind of like wounds and whatnot. There's a couple of chinks in the stonework as if a weapon has been kind of like ran over that. And that's all you find. And the weapon isn't at particularly the height that you would find if you were to hit a dwarf. It's much higher than what Balin would be. It would be the torso of a human. But that's kind of what you find. It's consistent with a little bit of a mock-up of what people would expect a death scene to be, kind of thing.
I know it's difficult to say, but I'm just trying to have a look if there's anybody particularly watching us or having a look
Make an
at
awareness roll.
Oh, love those. Gandalf. I was saying Gandalf. No, it's Sauron. Damn it. I fall into the.
There's a
I fall
dark
into
shape
the
that
fake
looks
blood.
like Gandalf, but it steps into the light, and it's actually Sauron.
It's Gandalf if he'd taken the ring.
There are
Yes.
there are a number of people watching you, and they're all the guards. They're still kind of like, what the actual fuck is going on? You can see that the sergeant is starting to change his mind now that it's happening. It just looks slightly weird. It's like, no, you've had enough, gents. Come on, let's get you back.
Okay.
Let's get you back.
Okay. No, thank you very much, kind sirs. We've got what we've looked for.
Okay,
We'll move on now.
You're escorted away from the old quarter. So Cirque, kind of probably as the sun starts to properly set and twilight comes, so you've been there for maybe an hour or so, which is similar to what those guys have been doing. A shortish man with a pencil thin kind of moustache, quite styled hair, dress is very different from what you've seen before. Clearly quite annoyed about something, kind of comes striding through, goes straight past the main workshop window, goes around to the side door, kind of like straight in, kind of up into the house. Candles start to appear in the windows. Woman shuts down the shop. Kind of like puts some shutters around. Kind of heavy lock turned. Heads back. The woman into the house. 10 or so minutes later, she kind of like leaves and got a thicker jacket on. Basket under her arm with some cloth covering it, and kind of heads off. She doesn't see you.
Good. I'll just keep watching to see if he comes out.
He doesn't come out. No. You guys are back out of the old quarter. The guards have kind of like left you. What do you want to do?
Probably pub.
Yeah, well, I think we need to head back towards Guion, where Cirque is.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Takes you half an hour to kind of like get out to there. So you'll now start to feel the cold a little bit, and you know that point where you reach where it's just cold and nothing much is happening. And even though you're very curious and there's possibly quite a bit, it's still a little bit fucking cold. And then Loftar and Cirque, not Loftar and Torg, come up to you.
Well, he didn't go running off to anybody.
Is this guy back yet? Or...
Yeah, he's back. She's presumably told him, passed the message on, and it's not sparked anything. Unless he's left by an entrance that I can't see.
So he's not that bothered about his missing boat?
No, but he's also not bothered enough to go tell somebody that someone's investigating his missing boat. Might be worth having a chat with him.
Or maybe his boat is not actually missing.
So the door opens, and the figure comes out. He's changed clothes. His hair is a little bit slick wet, as if it's kind of like just being washed through, and he's got a thicker woolen kind of jacket on, and he is starting to walk out towards the main road.
Walking with purpose, walking like he's just sort of out for an evening kind of stroll.
Walking with some purpose, but it's not like zooming around. It's not checking that he's been followed or anything like that. It looks like he's walking to somewhere in a cold evening where he naturally doesn't want to be in the cold for that long.
Follow him. I'm assuming he might be heading towards the pub.
Oh.
If not to a secret rendezvous with the villains. Square.
You guys leave, I guess, a little bit of distance between you.
Yeah, classic following method of passing off to each other. Sometimes someone going ahead and then dropping back, and someone then kind of taking. I know it takes like 18 to 20 people to successfully actually trail somebody, but we're doing the best we can with 3.
And no training or communication about doing that.
Yeah.
Can I try and stealth my way?
Stealth away. Give me a stealth roll.
Are you still pretending to be drunk as well, Loftar?
No.
Now he's just drunk. He's got the
he's sober, stealthy, but a mess.
I'm on the mission. So if I'm successful, I'm basically going to drop behind or be on the side somewhere and trying to
running along the rooftop.
I got 3 ones. I've got an 8, but that's I've got 3 ones on the D6.
Okay. So
sorry, 11.
11. Okay, so you tap the guy on the shoulder and ask him if he can see you. So you're trying to be stealthy. He kind of looks behind him a couple of times, having clearly heard a noise he wasn't quite expecting, and he kind of pulls it around and just moves with a bit more pace. He does indeed head to the Golden Chief.
There we go.
Okay.
Now, this is the awkward part when we go into the pub and there's the trade unionists, this guy, and all of us, and then the Easterlings are going to come and give us some info as well. It's all going to kick off.
Yeah.
Should we just roll for battle now, or wait till we get?
Let's just
should we revert to the theatrics of pretending that we're extremely drunk?
We weren't when we went. Just see what he's got to say.
Have a sip of that.
And let's be honest, it's the pub. You guys are going to be extremely drunk within about an hour anyway. Possibly. That's how most evenings end.
Yeah. Just to make him feel like we weren't following him.
Yes, that I take that point. That's good. Yes.
Well, maybe. Well, he's coming to look for you, Torg. So maybe Loftar doesn't go in with you, and you were following him from the thing. Maybe you separate out a bit.
Yeah. I'll go in last with my bottle of brandy, and I will be a little bit tipsy, just a little bit.
So this is a
Okay.
tipsy guy pretending to be a little bit tipsy. A fucking smashed man. Okay, so who's going into the pub?
So Torg's going to walk in first.
Okay. You step into
I'll
the...
go
You go
round the
after?
back door and come in via the thingy way.
This is got to be the most convoluted pub
Yeah.
entrance scene I've ever role played. Okay, cool. So Torg.
Just so that, like, if he saw any of us, it's not obvious that we're all together, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So Torg, you kind of like step into a little bit of the porch entranceway. That's the area where you would knock the snow off your shoes. Then you step into the golden sheaf, the common room. The bar across to one side, the barrels behind the bar, the roaring fire that you could step into, the meat slowly turning there, the smells of ale and smoke and human sweat. The reeds haven't been cleaned out yet this week, so they're a little bit dirty underfoot. It did rain quite heavily a couple of days ago, and the mud is still a little bit there. Gwion is sat down in Donar's corner, and is absently nodding, to Donar, and sort of slowly starting to move his way kind of around the table. Gareth sees you, waves you across.
Yep. I'll order a drink first. I'll kind of stand in a lordly fashion with my hand on the haft of my mattock.
Yep. Cirque comes
Gareth,
in from the other entrance. Gareth
A
looks
strong,
at him
a
and goes,
strong ale. A strong ale to end the night.
Torg, the
and whatever my friend Donar is drinking.
he
I'll
lines you up.
bellow. I'm bellowing across the room.
Oh, okay. This figure kind of like looks up and kind of like looks back down again. It's got a glass of red wine.
A figure.
Oh, sorry, the Gwion, who's up in Donar's corner.
Gwion, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
the guy that you follow from Gwion's house.
Okay.
Gareth, this man has asked for you. Apparently, you left a message with him earlier at his workshop.
Ah. Yes, you have a missing boat.
Oh, right, sorry, hold on. Sorry, so that was what Gareth said. That's what Gareth said.
Okay.
To you. And then Circus just come in from the back entrance.
I'll just sort of take a seat at like a table nearby,
and
but not kind of like I'm not being with him particularly. It's just
and Loftar comes in as well as you're heading across to Gwion. Torg.
What does Gwion do? Does he look up? Is he
he looks up.
interested at all in?
Are you going across
Cirque and Loftar?
Not especially.
Yeah,
no.
I'm moving across here.
Yeah, no, he's kind of like sat, kind of like biding his time a little bit, scrolling through his
Twitter feed.
Yeah. He's like King Bard. No, we are not politicizing the stream.
Any more than we already have.
He looks up at you. Would you be Torg?
I am Torg, son of Tordek, and you are.
I am Gwion. You left a message for me earlier today at my workshop about my boat.
Oh yes. I believe we're in safe company. But you reported your boat was stolen.
That is correct.
To the harbour master.
Because it was fucking stolen. It was stolen, I apologise. Let's have some insight preliminary rolls.
Okay. 3 dice. Not a great result. 15, that's 14.
14? Okay, so you get 1 success die. So you can see
Yep.
he is not a military person at all, not martial at all. In fact, he's slightly put off by the fact that you got your mattock at the side. He kind of looked at it a little bit with disdain. The Golden Sheaf does not sell Darwinian wine, which you know to be the best wine. So he's kind of like got a glass that he's taken the sip of and is just kind of like put to one side. But he seems to respond a little bit to your lordliness. You can see he kind of respects you because you're clearly presenting yourself with your lordly nature. Yes,
Okay.
yes, my boat was stolen, and the reeve has done nothing about it and is not able to provide me with any kind of explanation as to what has happened. I've been out and I had to recover it, and now I have to go and get it fixed in Esgaroth.
You have recovered it.
Yes,
then?
yes. It
So
was
you
down
found
the
your.
river.
You
That's
found
where
your
I've been
boat.
today.
You had to travel downriver to retrieve your own boat.
Yes,
And
it's ridiculous. The wheels have well and truly fallen off the keys. He doesn't know. He doesn't know either.
there's
for steering.
a terrible betrayal by the. You said the reeve.
Yes, the reeve of the keys, Harwood.
Aye. That's not how it used to work in Dale, I'm told.
No, absolutely. It's not how it works in Darwinian. Let me tell you that. If this was what happened on the coast of the Sea of Rune, then well, it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I've had a long day. My apologies, Torg, son of Tordek. What is it that you wish to tell me? What is it that you know? Why did you wish to speak with me?
Well, your boat was seen only yesterday, in fact, just outside of the city. But I wonder what condition your boat was in when you found it, when you retrieved it.
It was not in a great condition. It's going to cost me enough to have it fixed in Esgaroth.
And then bring it all the way back here.
Absolutely.
Under your own hand.
Yes, it's worth it. My son Melak, he's my youngest son. He's who the boat was for. He's very athletic and he's learning the traditional Darwinian business skills as part of Master Dag's trading fellowship. You may have heard of it. And the boat was bought for him so that he could go out fowling with his friends from the trading fellowship on the river. He loves to go fowling. Here's my youngest son, of course. One of
Fowling?
four. Fowling, yes, going for
Shitting off the edge of the boat.
going after the ducks and the geese, and the swans, and the bears and the tigers.
Ah,
oh my!
The poor dogs and the yeah. Okay,
Which is
and
a
that's off
noble
the edge
sport.
of the boat. Okay.
Yes. Do you have children
um,
yourself, Torg?
None that I know of as yet, but I'm sure it'll be something that might happen. It doesn't happen very often for dwarves, you know.
A curse, Torg. A blessing and a curse. They bring so much.
More of a curse than a blessing.
Nay, they bring so much enjoyment, but their affairs take so much management. Gorion, he's my eldest. He's got to carry on the family business. He's betrothed to Esther, a lovely girl from Dale, whose mother is quite close to Lord Hakon Stewart. Quite a good advancement.
Hakon.
Lord Hakon, yes. He's a powerful noble, one of King Bard's closest associates. And his steward, of course, is elevated himself. Marla, her eyes are so much like her mother's. She's currently learning bookkeeping within Lord Brini's household. And Logoth, my middle son, well, he's taking time to consider his options. He's got a wide set of skills, and he's not yet found the right home for them. But I'm hopeful that he'll follow in the rest of his siblings soon enough. Soon enough. But it tries a man. It tries a man.
It must, and children can be unruly at the best of times.
Oh, not my fault. I imagine as such.
I imagine they test you by taking your boat for rides when they shouldn't.
No, not at all. The boat was a gift from Malak. It was kept at the quays. It should have been safe there. And he uses it as and when he wishes, but not in any unruly fashion. I mean, he's got a reputation to maintain. Master Dag does not take on unrulies. Now, Torg, what is it that you wish to tell me, or what is it that you wish to have from me? You arranged this meet, and yet you just seem to be lacking in direction, I guess.
Well, I'm intrigued because your boat was seen just outside the city yesterday, and was part of an attack on Balin the dwarf, who
he kind of goes a little bit pale. But my boat was part of an attack on Lord Balin, the ambassador from King Dane.
It was used in an assault against Balin and his party. And Balin was left for dead.
I don't know what to say. I mean, we don't check on the boat every day. It was only when we went to use it this morning that we discovered it had been stolen. It was what, maybe 5 days ago when we last moored it there. He kind of like just collapses a little bit into his chair.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, slumps down a little bit.
Yeah, and only yesterday it was just outside the city walls, and yet today it's now as far as Esgaroth.
Oh,
how long would it take usually to travel to Esgaroth in a boat that size?
Well, I don't know if I'd just be surprised if it's in Esgaroth already. I mean, we didn't find it in Esgaroth. It was just further down the river where we found it. It was maybe a couple of hours further down the river. But there's no facilities for it to be fixed here. Ridiculous state of affairs. So it has to be sent to Esgaroth for repairs. My gosh.
Yes. Unimaginable, really, isn't it?
Very much so. And are you one of Lord Balin's agents?
Well, I am a dwarf of some standing, and I am known in Dale, and it's seemly that I should show an interest in any kind of attack on a dwarf of standing within Dale. So I have to display some interest in this. You understand? It's not really I'm not here as an official, but it's the right thing.
And who would you be reporting your findings and outcome to, my Lord Torg?
Well, in the interests of Dale and of the people of Dale, I would report anything I found first and foremost to the watch.
Oh.
And beyond that, well, the business of men and the business of dwarves is their business alone. And should there be some way to resolve matters without involving the authorities, then
Well,
if that benefits both parties, then
I am entirely law-abiding, but I wouldn't want any.
Of
I wouldn't
course.
want the watch to think of. I wouldn't want to have any unpleasant business. Not that would attract the attention. Yes, of course. It would be rather unseemly, and a difficult situation, of course, for my children and for the family to have any implications. So well, the boat was stolen, and I honestly do not know what happened to it at all. But I guess when I recovered the boat, when we pulled it out of the water, I found this, and he holds up an envelope. It was stuck under the prow compartment. I was puzzled by it, but perhaps it will help you in your investigations, and perhaps you'll be able to figure its meaning. And in any reports, of course, I would impeach you to say what great helpfulness and great standing that Gwion and my family offered to you and rendered aid in this matter, of course. He kind of like slides the envelope across the table to you.
Oh, that's of course, reputation is everything for a man of such standing as yourself, and
I'm so glad that you understand.
You wouldn't want the house of Gwion to be associated with any nefarious deeds or criminal acts, and that.
Absolutely not. I'm so glad that we have this ability to understand one another. Yeah, we clearly are men of the same station, and that helps in all of these kinds of activities. Now, if I have nothing more that I can add really, and I've rendered all the aid that's available and that's possible, so perhaps I could take your leave.
You've done everything you can, Gwion, and rest assured your name will be clear from here on.
Unmentioned, perhaps.
Unmentioned. Invisible.
Fantastic. Now, thank you very much. You can finish the wine if you so choose. It's a bit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I believe it may be useful in getting the fire going a bit more.
I suspect that, or perhaps even just polishing up a fissures. Yes. It's been a pleasure. And he kind of like scampers away.
Good night. Okay, that's interesting. I guess I'll try to stealthily pocket the envelope rather than
give me
wave it around.
Stealth check.
Stealth check. Okay. Oh yeah, 0. So just the feet die. Dropped it. It looks like a 1. It is a 1.
Okay, yep. So you've tried to as stealthily as possible, but yeah, it's a little bit like that. Okay. What do you want to do, guys? Just conscious it's 1:45, so we are going to be hitting the end of the session very shortly.
I think we convene and discuss, and then go to bed.
Yeah,
Because we want to know what's in the letter, and also Brindy is the one I've got written down as Birdie. So his middle son has a link, or his middle son, his daughter has a link to into that house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably worth looking into.
Okay, so the letter written in Westron on plain parchment reads: "The passage is complete. Make sure that your men are prepared."
Is it handily signed?
No.
Any sort of seal, sigil, initial?
Nope.
Lips, perfume,
Oops, no.
I think you should.
swalk.
Fingerprints. It was clearly delivered with gloves.
No.
You
No
can
DNA
make
traces?
me a lore test, Zerk.
Let's have a look. Mm. 19 regular.
You would put your left arm on the fact that the handwriting belongs to a dwarf.
Huh. And so the passage is complete.
Make sure that
That's a
your men
journey.
are prepared.
Yeah. So men, that's interesting. Rather than dwarves.
So I
We
think
had
we'll
men who won
leave
the
the
boat and
session
attacked, don't we?
there. Fun times had by all. It is 10 to midnight. And I think I'm flagging.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
So hope you guys enjoyed that.
I love a murder mystery.
It's a little bit, isn't it? Again, it's another session without any combat. So what's this, like the second or third consecutive session without combat?
A murder mystery with no murder.
That's
Yes.
the mystery.
But a murder scene that you have investigated.
Yeah.
So we need to do the things that happen at the end of sessions. Can somebody tell me what they are, please? Because I haven't got it.
Yes,
Clue.
I can. So we do Fellowship Focus Hope Recovery,
Yep.
and then we
Okay.
award 1 XP for turning up and
Yep.
1 XP for meeting objective.
Yeah, so your objectives were to dig into the Dominion Bear a little bit more, establish some facts there, achieved, and to gain more information about what was happening, objective achieved. And despite the fact that you thought you might not be able to achieve the objectives, you did in fact get an additional audience with Balin. So I think the XP for that. And I would like to suggest that Loftar gets an additional XP for his wheels within the wheels. Suggestion
Yep.
of do that, where I generally thought that Matt had clearly missed part of the dialogue. And
Well, no, he's dead.
I was like, he's not actually dead. But I think that was definitely
It's
plenty.
about due diligence.
It's all
That
about
was my
due
favourite line.
diligence.
Doing his due
We've got to
diligence.
do our due diligence. That's,
It's dwarven due diligence.
It's not just-
triple D.
it's triple D, which is kind of like, we go back 7 years in your financial accounts rather than just the normal 5.
Oh,
5
absolutely,
plus current
yes.
FY. And what else now happens, Joe? So we've done XP.
That's it. That's
Okay,
it
cool.
until end
Excellent.
of adventuring phase, really. So
Okay, sounds good. So we need to decide when we can play next. I could do a fortnight again because I've got sufficient stuff prepared. So the 20th of November.
Yeah, it's free for me.
mhm. Sounds good.
So,
Okay, so thank you for watching us. If you've kept up with the stream, hope that
Yeah,
was.
bits of cake still online.
Thank you, bits of cake. I was going to say pieces of buns, but clearly that's just my failure to pay to remember anything. Thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, appreciate the views there as well. Any comments that you want to make, any observations that you want to make, any guesses as to who killed Balin?
I'm going to say Balin.
yeah, pass them over to Loftar. He will be interested to know.
If you want to get
Any names?
if you want to get in touch with us, give us a shout
I was
out.
hoping that, at least someone will follow us and they'll be like, oh, we'll teach him a lesson.
Yeah,
Sorry.
if you want to get in touch with us, give us a shout out. Raymond Chandler at loftarpi.co.uk.
Tom Selleck moustache.
That's how I see it. Yeah, but that was good fun. I look at these things and I'm not quite sure how much Middle Earth role playing this actually is, if I'm honest. This could be kind of anyway, but I think it's still got that feel of it about it.
This
Well,
feels
we are
like
in the one bureaucracy role playing game now with our due diligence and our form filling.
it feels like the adventure is written at as like someone wanted to set out the challenge that you can use the One Ring as a purely investigative system,
Yeah.
you know, and they wanted to prove that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
it's fun.
Is
It's fun
there
so
a
far.
Halloween
I'm enjoying
episode
it.
later on with a ghost and then a vampire or something, and then someone does a rom-com one? And then...
Quite possibly. But in any case, okay, right, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Wherever you have seen this, 20th of November, it'll be sometime around 8 p.m. UK time where we kick off. It'll be the normal kind of stuff as we go through there, and we'll find out what further clues you can sweep up and who killed Balin. Thank you, guys.
Good night. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Right, stop streaming.